Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, this week and last, we've been reporting on the migrant crisis across the Mediterranean and the political tensions faced by countries like Italy, where many of the arrivals are landing. The people's smugglers are a major part of that desperate equation, both along the African shores and as the migrants set out to sea. We'll hear from one of the world's foremost smuggling experts shortly, but first, Porrick O'Brien reports from just off the coast of Libya, and a warning: there are some distressing images in his report.
The Sea-Watch charity boat is approaching the search and rescue zone at dawn. We're just outside the territorial waters of Libya, a dysfunctional state. The nearest port is Sabratha, west of Tripoli.
It looks like we're going to have a busy day.
This, as it would turn out, was an understatement. Up close, the desperation. From the lookout, the business of despair. The blue and white boat, one of a group of 10, carrying smugglers, their affiliates, and the so-called engine fishers. Escorting boats, directing traffic, taking engines, keeping order with cables. But here's the rub. This boat is the Libyan Coastguard. We've checked with the Libyan Coastguard. It's called the Al Anka 3. In February, EU leaders agreed to spend €200 million to enable the Libyan Coastguard to stop and turn back migrants leaving the coast. But we saw the Libyan Coastguard reversing migrants towards our rescue boat and ultimately to Europe, away from the coast of Libya. Here is the Libyan Coastguard having a conversation with the men in the other boats. And here they are taking the engine off a migrant boat. We put this to the Libyan Navy and Coastguard. Colonel Ayab Qasim in Tripoli told us they had no dealings with smugglers and insisted he would take action against anyone involved in illegal activity. Libya is in turmoil, multiple different centres of power and influence, militia groups controlling so much on the ground and in the water. But what happened in Libya to bring these people here?
Business and people.
Our guide to the mechanics of the smuggling business in Sabratha will be this man. A young Moroccan picked up by Sea-Watch that day. We will call him Yusuf. The reason for anonymity: a friend of his secretly filmed the departure point in Libya the day before.
These only Africans.
Only Africans in inflatable boats.
Yes, because this is dangerous.
Because it's really? Yeah. The wooden boats, by and large, reserved for Moroccans, Syrians and the rest. 3 different migrants confirmed that Az Hatim is the name used for the man directing everything here. Yusuf paid €1,500 for the crossing. He saw the boss teach his nephews the business.
I'm give this my boy, my children, I'm give this thing for dead people.
So he was giving his belt to these little boys to beat the people. Yusuf and 2 other migrants told us that Az Hatim was in contact with some of the people we subsequently saw on the boats out at sea. The smugglers sent them out all day. Sea-Watch picked up thousands late into the night. 4 people drowned just yards from the rescue boat we were on that night. And they are the ones we know about.
Porrick O'Brien there with that report, and I'm joined now in the studio by Mark McAuliffe, one of the world's foremost smuggling experts. Welcome to the programme. That was an extraordinary report there, wasn't it? I mean, those images of obvious collusion of the Libyan Coastguard with the smugglers. Did we know about that?
We definitely knew about that, but
We hadn't seen it before.
exactly. It's the footage that makes it very extraordinary. I think we still need to understand exactly what went on. So there were there's behavior there which is not normal. Based on the testimony collected by your crew on the ground there and the footage itself, it seems that these Coast Guards were escorting the migrants out. That's not normal behavior.
It makes a mockery, doesn't it, of the European Union policy of giving the Libyan Coast Guard 200 million euros in order to police their shores. They seem to be facilitating the traffic.
And it's not like we didn't know. So
why are they giving them money?
Recently, because they've
got nothing else?
No, because they want quick fixes.
Right. But this isn't a quick fix.
Absolutely not. This is something which will rebound, is rebounding,
Yeah.
and will keep rebounding on decision makers.
So EU money is fueling the business model which involves the Libyan Coast Guard.
In part, yes. There are Coast Guards which are legitimate Coast Guards doing their job, etc., etc. But there are Coast Guards that are part of smuggling syndicates. So when they are intercepting migrants, because they are intercepting migrants, interceptions of migrants this year are up over last year.
Right.
They are getting paid twice. Once by the smuggling network that is they are protecting essentially, and then by the government which is paying them to do the interception, and eventually by the EU.
If the business model didn't exist, if the human traffic didn't exist to this extent, can we work out how many fewer migrants we would see coming across the Mediterranean? I mean, those driven purely by desperation or war? It's
very hard to say, because human smuggling now is ingrained. First of all, human smuggling doesn't operate in a vacuum. Right. Human smuggling forms part of a much larger smuggling economy, which is made up of weapons, drugs, fuel, you name it. So you have to see it in that context, and now it's ingrained in the very fabric of what Libya is like right now, because militias are making money off fuel smuggling, human smuggling.
Are they making more money from the human smuggling than from anything else? Is that their primary source of income now?
No, I think it's debatable whether fuel smuggling or human smuggling is the top, but definitely human smuggling is one of the
and
biggest.
As long as you have chaos in Libya, you're not going to solve this problem.
No, but there are opportunities for intervention. I would say that the European strategy to have a government of national accord, sustain a government of national accord, and have a partner at that level is a good strategy, but the European Union isn't being strategic about that.
So we're a long way off a political solution without which we cannot solve this problem, because we need Libya to function as a unitary state.
I believe that the international community at this point should function at two levels. Continue with the national reconciliation process, but be strategic about it. We have two countries at least, Italy being one of them and France being the other, that support different factions within the Libyan context, which is completely contrary to official policy.
So unless we can solve this, we will see thousands of people crossing the Med as before.
Yes, but there is opportunity to engage with Libyan communities on the ground and start there, as long as everyone can get it through their heads that there isn't a quick fix. This isn't going to be, there's no switch that we can flick and this will stop.
Depressing but fascinating. Thanks very much, Mark McCullough. John.